I can reconvene. Voting hearing at 150. At this time, at the request, Ms. Wade, request.
I'd like to call Ms. Bridget with Human Resources up. She has some information she wants to provide to the council regarding the YMCA and PPG memberships that may be an option. Good afternoon. After you made the comment, Mr. Russell, about the YMCA asking for funding if they provide us something also, I got in touch with Mr. Bob Backnell, and at this current time, they're only giving us a 10% discount for employees to join the YMCA. He did say that he'd be willing to honor the same deal as the sheriff, which is free for employees, and then a 30% discount for the family, which we had discussed with finance and kind of ran some numbers by them, and they still think that's a large amount for some of our parish workers. So he did say that he'd be willing to meet with me after these meetings and negotiate something better that y'all would all be pleased with. We'll work out the details later. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Surpass.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything else?
If y'all don't mind, I'd like to readdress y'all from the other day from my budget, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Before you move on, Bridget, I would just like to thank Mr. Russo for making that recommendation.
I appreciate it. Gave me what I needed to go forward. Thank you.
All right. Go ahead.
The other day when I was up here and I talked about my budget, I did not mention manpower. And the reason I did not mention manpower is because I was told that it would not be granted because we don't have the money for it. But I still feel, after thinking about it, I still feel like I need to tell y'all what's going on in our department. And we are understaffed, just like many others are understaffed. The recent increase in lawsuits and EEOC claims is not helping that because they're very time consuming. We could really use our supervisor position back. I know that y'all are faced with the budget part of it, and that's not my job, I know that's y'all's job, and I don't know where you're going to find the money for the things you need, but I just feel like if I don't address that, I won't be heard. So I just felt like I need to bring that forward, and I mean, we are switching insurance again, which is also time consuming, and we really are having a hard time keeping up with our projects and our deadlines, and the deadlines in HR are usually compliance related, and that costs money and penalties. And, I mean, I stay late a lot of nights. I can't do anymore.
What's the dollar amount? Dollar amount?
Oh, penalties?
No, on the position.
I think that the supervisor position is at 34. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, I'll follow on that.
I'd like to all.
Good amendment on that, please.
Aren't you losing one for retirement?
I will also be losing some more in February. I'm sorry, I'm just passionate
You're
about
gonna
it.
make me cry, but you're gonna have me crying with you, so.
Thank you. Surpass, you ready to move forward?
Yes, sir, I'm ready. The only thing I have left is, we can touch on the sign department, we didn't talk about that, and the boat hauler, that's it. So if we go to page 237 in the white, the sign department.
Any questions from the table on the sign part? Administration? Next item, please.
Okay, turn to, Michelle, we just mentioning, somebody had mentioned, that they want a sign installer.
Somebody requested that, I don't remember who.
Did anybody? Okay,
What'd you say?
a sign installer, somebody had mentioned they wanted that a while back, we don't remember who it was.
Well, they only have one person, and he's doing a decent job for what he is. When you call him, he does his job.
Good.
Five other employees.
Page 304 is the Boat Harbor Shipyard Billing Department.
304.
304 in the white.
Madam Chair, have any questions? On page 304, White, Road Harbor and shipyards.
Yeah, next is Shipyard Empire.
Okay, that's on page 305.
305.
And the next page is general.
Nothing there.
Nothing there, that's simple. Road Harbor and Empire. 307.
I got one quick question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tommy, where it says the inter-fund service charge, that's what it refunds back to us, but that's not what they collected?
You're right, so what happened with the Boat Harbor is kind of strange because Boat Harbor paid us $13,000 from here, but then we have to transfer them money because it just increases the expenses. So
Yeah.
basically just swap the money.
Okay.
But
Less money.
right. But when you're talking about like solid waste or waterworks who have their own money, but that money really does come back to the general fund.
Okay.
Yes, I just would like to reiterate to the administration and legal that we need to get a hold on these stall fees for these boat harbors because they too, I feel, should be a self-supporting fund. So that's just, I've been preaching to the choir since 2015 regarding this issue, and it's happened long before we were here. It's been an ongoing issue. I just think that we're doing a disservice to the government by not collecting appropriately.
And we do, since we're boat harbors, I can mention that we do have 5 positions that we're requesting. We have amendments for guards in Portland Hatch, Venice, Eurus, and Empire, and a helper in Empire.
I need help in Venice. I thought that,
You want a helper in Venice too?
yeah, I had asked that request.
Oh, is a helper in Venice? Oh, maybe it's not. Okay, we'll fix it.
And regarding the positions for the guards, that would be night watchmen, because there's a lot of death going on. But I don't know if it would be the council that would need to take action or legal. I think we need to maybe look into going with a security company. We may come out cheaper doing that as opposed to paying full-time positions. So I don't know who would need to initiate that process. I'll get with Ms. Shelley maybe in both harbors and see if there's something that she can do, maybe to get proposals from security companies just to do it at night, the night guarding of the harbors. I'd like to put these positions in place in the event that we do not go that route. Yes, it's a collaboration between myself, Mr. Bartholomew, and Mr. Edgecombe. But the intent, I would try to do it at a reduced rate as possible, but like I said, if we would be up to par on collections, I really think that the harbors would be able to support themselves.
Persuade things?
Yes, sir.
Probably was just asking for what we had taken out prior to, and especially in Portland, actually, we have a lot of complaints from people that own the slip stuff, people taking these stuff off the boats. They fuel, they food. I mean, whatever they can get taken, that's what they take. And sometimes a lot of people get ready to go out and buy you, thinking they have gas or diesel, it's all gone. So that's a big problem we have. And sheriff been informed that they've been patrolling. But I guess they have a time frame, they didn't ask us that when they come in the next time. So, anyway, appreciate that. Any other comments on both office? Question, table?
Yeah, on the, on the boat hauls, we're in the process of trying to get the other side open, the south side on the Empire
On
Boat.
that part, okay.
We're working on that now. The other thing is the shipyard. We short of at least 2 people on the Empire shipyard, and we need to look into maybe getting these people some help over there. It's an income, that's it's working out for labor, and I think we need to look at least 2 more. Also, the funds, I think we're going to need all the funds we can get on the shipyard. The machines get to be pretty, maintenance is needed pretty much on that machine. We are replacing hydraulic hoses, we're trying to get a new set of tires for it. So we're going to need quite a few dollars to keep that machine in good order. So we need to look at that budget also. So consider the labor and also the maintenance on that all.
Which one is that?
That's the Empire Shipyard. I'm sorry.
Okay. Mr. Chair? Mr. Edstrom?
Listen, I thought you mentioned before the tires were already on order.
They are on order, but the maintenance itself, we got an engine that's about worn out, and the hoses are in really bad shape. So, and that maintenance, you got bearings on the wheels, there's a lot of things that needs to be looked at. That machine's gonna need maintenance and service, so it's gonna take quite a bit of dollars to get it back up to par.
Mr. Chairman?
Good.
Casada? I was waiting, sorry.
Boat Harbor's at Venice, I'm working on page 309, that's the shipyard and the harbor combined?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, that one did, yes, it was, when they added the shipyard on after, we didn't split it up because the expenses are too hard to split.
Okay, that's what I'm asking, okay.
Any other comments from the table? Administration? Next item, please.
Mr. John, I think that's it as far as the departments go. Unless there's something y'all want to go back to, we can move on. Michelle just handed out a vacancy and additional positions list. These are the positions that we talked about earlier. We put on the side, this has been updated, she got with Ellen, and some of these positions can be taken out, vacancies, because they were filled already. So you see the ones that were filled on the side. The ones in pink are the additional positions that we requested that are in the budget. And,
On the back, there's some additional vacancies that Ellen let me know about yesterday.
right, so these are additional vacancies that could be on the front, just, they weren't in the book.
On the front page, the first, Inland employee pump station operator that I have filled, Ellen just told me that they signed paperwork this morning to move that employee to number 15, with the drainage pump operator at the bottom. So now that one will be vacant, and the pump operator number 15 will be filled.
So what I'd like to do is just point to go down the council, ask anybody if you have any comments they want to add, read, or whatever, the pleasure on the budget, any comments that they'd like to make. Okay?
Right, so if you'll tell us
Yeah.
what that you want to take out, then we can,
Right. And I would like to afford everybody that opportunity to do that.
Are we going, is this what we're looking at?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good?
So the ones that say field.
All right, Ms. Williams, you want to go first? Go for it.
Sorry.
You got first shot, go ahead.
No, I have a question. The ones that are saying field are the ones that are currently funded now in 2017?
Well, they're all currently funded in 2017. These are,
And 18.
and 18. These are the ones that y'all choose to leave the funding from, except the ones that
That say
say
field,
field,
okay.
because they have already been filled by employees.
Just the orange look.
Right,
Right.
yes. The peak is the extra positions that were added, the ones that were unfunded in 2017 were funded in 2018.
Where we stand on the budget? We over?
What? Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking it up.
What's the bottom line?
Well, I mean, basically, what we're starting off right now is you have about,
Tommy, can you put that on the screen? Can we see that on that?
I can, but what I did basically is I put down all the amendments on here, and then, of course, they're not all going to be adopted. But if they were, we're basically looking at meeting the whole of unreserved and designated about $1 million.
But that's also adding $5 million from BP settlement to unreserved undesignated.
5.5 million, correct. So that's going to leave you $300,000 in the BP settlement fund. It'll leave you $3.5 million in the emergency fund, the 8.1, I think it is, or 8.6 million in the bond indemnity fund, which is 1-year bond payment.
We've already used $5 million, right, from BP for 17?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, basically, if you pass the ordinances we talked about, taking the $10 million out and putting that $6 million legal fee in 2017, then in 2018, if you leave things the way they are, you're gonna have a balance of $300,000 in the BP fund for 2018, starting off. Now, when we get to $10 million, when we do get that, if we get it in 2018, that'll add to $10 million, but we'll have to take out the money for the project for the water treatment plant. But that amount is only going to be $6.3 million because we already funded 2.7 from the water and sewer fund. So basically, if you adopt all the ordinances 2017 that we discussed, you do everything here and you take the $5.5 million out of BP, you'll be left with right over $300,000 going into 2018 in the BP fund.
Plus 3.5 in emergency and 8.6 in bond indemnities.
Correct.
So we're about $1 million in the hole if we adopt all of these amendments.
Roughly, it's hard to say because
Right.
I think I got them all, but, you know.
Can we go over the amendments, all the amendments? That's what
We can, but I mean, what I have each individual, I didn't want to put them all in a big packet because it's really confusing to do that. I mean, we can start giving them out if you want.
I'd like to know which ones are being funded.
Right, so, yeah, we want to start was, if y'all tell us, if y'all want to unfund any of these positions, we can start doing the amendments for these things. We already did them, we just have to print them.
So just to be clear, that if we pass it as is, we basically tell our constituency that we've utilized over $10 million in BP settlement funds towards operational costs to include salaries, operational expenses, etc.
Right.
A non-recurring revenue.
Right, you're taking the money out of DP, right?
So we'll have the same issue next year, and the following year, and the following year, and then when we start receiving payments in 4 years,
Yeah, if something doesn't happen with the revenues, we don't find another revenue source, increase revenue some type of way. We're just, it's exactly right, you're using this money for operations.
Well, since we've been discussing this, there's already been this dispute about the current revenue versus one-time expenditure. So I'm going to take the opportunity now to distribute this opinion from the Louisiana Legislative Auditor, and pass that out. It is very clear from the legal staff, Jennifer Shea, at the Legislative Auditor's Office in Darrell Perry's office. And we're outgoing reading the whole thing, the best practice for the Government Finance Officers Association, achieving a structurally balanced budget. And I'll just read one paragraph that pretty much says it all. Recurring revenues are the portion of a government's revenue that can reasonably be expected to continue year to year with some degree of predictability. Property taxes are an example of recurring revenue. A settlement from a lawsuit is a good example of non-recurring revenue. Now, you can look at this either way you want, but I choose to follow, and I'm not saying that I'm opposed to having to use this because of the box we're in, but I want it to be known pretty much that the best practices, according to the state legislative auditor and the Government Finance Officers Association states that. Good. President?
Yes, and that's why this structured arrangement is more akin to an annuity with BP. There's $5 million that we will be receiving over the next 4 years is more akin to an annuity. It's not a one-time lump sum.
With all due respect, if you take your attorney's hat off for a minute and think with a finance hat, would you respect the state legislative auditor?
I most certainly am, and I'm going down, if you read some revenue sources, the next line below, some revenue sources may have both non-recurring and recurring components. And this arrangement is more akin to an annuity where you're receiving payments for 5 years.
Right, and again, with your lawyer hat on, you're splitting hairs because if you forget what it just said, a settlement from a lawsuit is a good example of non-recurring revenue. So if you choose to ignore that, I understand that's the way lawyers work. You know, they read what they want to read. However, when it's pretty much detailed, it doesn't say annuities, or it doesn't say any of that stuff. It says just what I read, and that's what I believe it means. So we can always agree to disagree, but I think we all should be aware that that's exactly what we're talking about here, as Mr. Councilman Black stated. We are using one-time revenue to balance this budget last year, and now we're moving to 18 to do it again. And so the message that I'm trying to send is that during 2018, we need to make some changes in the operations, or we'll be back here next November or December using another $5 million of non-recurring revenue to balance. And eventually, when the money runs out, then somebody's be holding the bag, just as we were when we came in 2015, which all of y'all agreed and have railed on about how financially destructive the previous administration was. We are heading down the same path.
Mr. President and Councilman Burke.
Yeah, if we're gonna make amendments to these vacancies, I suggest that we move everything in the purple color.
A second.
Thank you for changing that, sir.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Burke, and Ms. Williams, would you guys recommend that we, when you remove that, I agree with that as well, if we remove it, if we take the BP fund separate, so we start removing stuff from this budget, from the amendment, we remove from that way we can build a balance back up for the BP fund, so we can eliminate as much as we can from that particular fund?
Well,
You know what I mean? If we,
right, well, basically,
I don't know that. But we got a negative $1 million right now, all amendments.
No, that's unreserved undesignated. BP's got their 300,000. We're not
No,
taking
BP,
anything in
we taking $5 million.
right, so if you do
On
make
BP.
cuts, you can decrease that 5.5.
That's what I'm saying. So,
But,
so we start adding stuff back in, like the $647,000 you just said from Mr. Burke. Take that money and put it back into BP. So we just take the $5 million that we put in, and then when we start putting stuff out of the amendments, start putting it back into BP until we get to the negative million, and then we continue from there.
well, I mean, that's fine, we can do that, but I have this report I'm bringing up right
I
now.
want to take as least amount from the BP fund.
And I agree with you, but we can do that to what, at the end, look, this is what, if you look at this report, I basically keep track of unreserved and designated right here. You see it, and these are all, I tried to put all the amendments in for all the different funds. When we get down to the bottom, and we decide, okay, look, we actually put money back in, unreserved and designated is gonna be $1.5 million, or we'll put $1 million back into BP, then we can do it then. You know what I'm saying? Because we keep track of it in unreserved and designated. But right now, I mean, if we adopt all these amendments, we're gonna have a negative unreserved and designated. So
I know that, yeah.
So if we take 600,000, like I said, for these projects, we put that back in here, then that's gonna reduce, that's gonna increase our reserve and designate.
Right, then once we
And then
get
at the end-
to break even,
Right.
then we'll reduce it from the 5 million.
Well, at the end, after we do all the amendments, if we have a balance of like $1 million, $1.5 million in here, then y'all can decide how much you want the balance to reserve and designated to be, and we can take the rest of it and transfer it back to BP. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I follow what you're saying. I'm just having a hard time, because I've said it before, that I'm not using any BP funds for recurring revenue
And
to the operating
that's what I'm
expenses
saying.
or whatever.
But we still gotta work it from the unreserved and designated side.
I get what you're saying.
Put them
That's
back.
nothing you want to do, that's fine.
It's
But
just
you
a
understand my point. That's
Because I
fine.
don't wanna have to do it,
I just want to make clear on my
every
position.
time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I understand, I know exactly what you're looking for.
Mr. President,
Yes, and since let's put this thing all in context, as Councilman Russo noted, the debt that was inherited, recognized debt from 2015, that debt, that was a recurring debt, and we never received the recurring revenue stream to pay for that debt. What's happening here legally is because of the ordinance with the mineral royalties, is that everything over $19 a barrel, which that money should have been going to operating costs, is now being taken from operating and going to pay the debt. So we can play all the name games we want, we're calling it BP money, or call it this money, call it that money. The bottom line is there was never any recurring revenue stream to pay for the recurring debt that we were left with. So, let's not lose the forest for the trees here. The bottom line is, we all know we need to provide services to our constituents. They depend upon Clackamas Parish government to provide those services. I'll leave it at that.
any comments?
Yeah, I do.
Ms. Williams?
My question is regarding the master carpenter that's on the list. Did we hire a master carpenter? Oh, we're still in need. We're still in need of one. So where is that? Have we approved that? And is that in the hiring process or?
I sent an email to you, I think last week, because we just got the paperwork that he's retired. And so, that's why I sent it to you last
So this
week.
will be for next year?
Yes. Or as soon as possible.
So that's a needed position. Thank you.
Do y'all want to vote on the purple section right now, on those two?
Start.
Yes.
And if I may, Mr. Chairman, on the 11 tractor driver positions, these are the positions that Mr. Bradford Brooks was referring to, where we have 12 tractors that don't have a tractor driver to use them. And if we don't get those positions, then we got these tractors not being run regularly and maintained. So we're going to have an equipment and maintenance issue on the back end.
I would suggest that you rotate them, drive one day, drive the next day.
Since we were talking about philosophy, if I might, just real quick. we've got a lot of departments that are limping along because we've got cuts in them. I mean, I would just suggest that maybe a better approach would be to pick the service you don't want to provide and cut the service as a whole. And not leave a whole bunch of departments that are limping along. So you pick the one that's got to be sacrificed, sacrifice it, and let the other work.
Well taken, Mr. Landry. However, this budget decided that when they gave it to us. All of these positions, now, are being evaluated as we went through the budget here. And, we all back to the same thing. We got 1.6 million or whatever it is in the red. So if you have any more philosophy of where we get that money, no.
Mr. Surveyor, just for clarification, all these amendments that we passed today and all fair, we will not lay off one employee, is that correct?
No, there's no layoffs in this budget.
Thank you.
So there's no layoff in the budget.
I'll second Mr. Bertol.
Was that okay?
Oh, sorry, I just did it again, I didn't know.
There's no problem.
Ms. Williams can do
It
it.
doesn't matter, long as it's passed.
Move us along.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move.
We only have a meeting that's meeting.
Call question. We're waiting. Call question.
Let's go. Go ahead, Eugene.
Amendments adopted.
Yes. Next items.
Regarding,
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, you see, the vote didn't go up to see who.
Everybody.
That board went up, Amos.
Williams?
yeah, regarding the vacancies, on the top portion of this page.
Is her mic on?
The pump station operators, all the interims, are we gonna need to fund those? I think we're safe to remove those because he's gonna fill in as needed, it seems, because the training program didn't get started when it needed to. That's just my
Right.
opinion.
However, these are the ones that are permanent that we are going to fill on top, in this top of the list. Yes.
No, that would be to hire the trainees, is my understanding. The positions are in his budget already, for the people that are still working.
But they're big.
But this was to hire the trainees.
Yeah, the ones at the bottom of the
Is that correct, Rochelle?
No,
The pump station equipment operators that are listed up here, the six, well, there's one that's filled, another one in the process of being hired. So there's 4 additional. Since the training program didn't happen,
You can remove all six.
we can remove all 6.
Yes, because the one that I had filled, she moved down to the pump station operator that was vacant.
And the ones that are filled are already not on, correct?
Correct, because they're still filled and they're gonna vacate it and be replaced.
They're on the back page.
Okay.
The blue section, number 3 and number 11, in the foreman, those are the ones that I've already turned in the paperwork.
Okay, so I'd like to offer amendments to, well, unless y'all want to just go all in global, we'll go down to them all at one time.
Yeah, but go through each one though, because like,
Okay, so I guess we start at the top, Director of Administration. That's
Mr.
a
B.
position.
it has to be amended.
Okay.
Excuse me, hold on one second. All right, sweet.
Well, I was just gonna start at the top and go down the list. I mean, we need to just find some kind of order to go in.
I'm thinking, yeah, and I agree with it. The thing is, a lot of these can be amended, like for instance, direct administration, we discussed that one. Telecommunications, you got, buildings, permits, building inspector. We have an amendment to take that funds and put it for part-time.
You wanna go one at a time
I
then?
mean, I don't know the finance, but I would.
Yeah, we can go one at a time, yeah, because we have each one of these separate. So
Okay,
we can-
well, let's do
if
that.
you- If you go through them and just tell us which ones you want, then we can go ahead and we do have some list, like you said, that's changing things too, so we do need to take each one individually out there. Now, if it's a whole department together, it's fine to do those together.
Mr. Chairman, can we request that, Ms. Barrios come up just to be prepared to answer a couple questions?
Sure.
We'll get through some.
So the director of administration will keep it, we're just going to do the amendment to reduce the salary. Gotcha.
You want to do that now?
Yeah, let's move forward.
Well,
Go
we
ahead.
can do that, it's gonna take time for the print and all that stuff. So, yeah, what I was thinking, if we just went down there and did these, and you tell us what y'all wanna do with them, that you can get them all together, we can
Okay.
go on to the next, to the month.
Okay.
Let's do that.
And then go back to these.
All right.
Just tell us what y'all wanna do first, and then we'll.
We'll go down the list and tell you what we want to
Mr.
do.
Chairman, can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Do you have to necessarily print 9 copies? Can you put it on the screen for us to see?
Yeah, I can do
It
that.
saves a lot of paper on the top, printing
I
stuff,
can
right?
just print, I have to print a couple of them for us, you know, to
Yeah,
have
right.
for the record, but,
Mr. Chairman,
Well,
I'm not ready.
My boy, I can't see this on my screen, it's just too small and blurry.
I have the 3 directors, if y'all would like those right now.
Or save
All right.
free.
that's fine.
Yeah, let's do that right
Yeah.
quick.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't. So you don't know what's going on?
Nope.
And it was at around 5 o'clock.
The light isn't burned out either.
You probably have a bad vantage point from right there, that's why you don't know. Maybe that was funny.
Okay, Mr. Chair.
All right.
Do I have a floor?
Yes, ma'am, you do.
Okay, I'd like to offer these 3 amendments that are being handed out for the Director of Administration, Director of Public Service, and Director of Operations. Setting their salaries at $80,000 a year for each of them, which is a reduction of the proposed budget of $6,433 each. Can I get a second?
Question from the audience, administration? Nope. Yeah, just a question from the audience.
Yes.
Hold up on the vote, please. Reconsider, take it out. All right, go ahead.
Administration.
First one's administration, operations, and then public service.
You saw that?
Yes, I just wanted to go on record that I really consider this amendment reluctantly.
Hold on, wait, sorry.
Use your microphone.
Go ahead.
Yes, I was initially in favor of restoring the director's salary to the original funding that it was in the past. But just to be on board with everyone, I'm going to go ahead and support the amendment. But I wanted it to be known on record. Thank you.
Anybody else? Audience? Next, please. Pass. The amendment pass.
You know, you just go down the line, Mr. John?
Yeah.
Next will be legal, assistant parish attorney.
That's Mr. Cole.
Suzette, question, same question.
Is this gonna be a full-time position, 40 hours minimum a week in the office?
Well, I mean, 40 hours a week, it's gonna be a full-time professional position. He's gonna be there working on our stuff, yeah. We're not gonna be paying by the hour anymore, that's the way he understood it. He was on the day.
Anybody else?
Why is that salary, is that salary more than yours, Shane?
We're,
It's 108,000 on salary.
I thought that was to bring it, that was with the benefits.
Yeah, it is, but it's salary.
It's 80, I thought, it should be 80.
Hang on, let me go to that.
I know we cut Shane, and LB them a lot when we first came in. I just want to make sure that we're not, you know,
So I got it on the screen right now, see,
LB makes more than the rest of us because of his special status and anything. But Melvin and I make 80.
But he's here less than anybody else.
Well, you got them, Melvin and Vacant and Eric Ron.
So is, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Next, please.
So is, piggybacking on Mr. Russel's question, is he only gonna be working for the parish, or is he gonna have outside legal?
No, it's my understanding that we still have the ordinance that says you can only work for the parish.
Well, the only reason I ask that is when we go to court and we see him fighting us and we'll work against it, I have a problem with him.
That's a sui generis situation.
Yeah, I would wish we never had those sweet generic situations.
Any other comments from the table?
yeah, I was this, but Mr. Landry, just advise, the parish attorney that, that Mr. Culver needs to occupy this full-time position under this particular line item. Otherwise, I'm sure we'll have to defund it.
Okay.
I mean, that's the intent of the council, is to have a full-time attorney, so.
I'd like to offer a second.
I'll second.
Second from Councilman Knight. She is open.
We have no amendments.
No other amendments for that?
No.
That's in the
These
parish.
are in the budget already.
Yeah, that's in the
The
budget.
only thing we're gonna amend is something taken out.
yeah, so you, the only thing I tell, you just,
No, all right.
we're just gonna mark right now, so you wanna do an amendment for that one?
No,
Okay.
next item. Safety.
Safety engineer.
Any questions on that?
Yeah, it's just the person that does the, that we released the initial, the safety guy.
Yes, the one that did.
Well, I think this is an important position because of the fact of, Ms. Hughes came before his council early on and said that, because of the transportation department, that she oversees, we are in violation right now. If any one of those vehicles would be in an accident, and not a safety guy available to oversee that accident, we can be sued.
So, Ms. Barrios, will this be offered to reinstate the employee that was here before if he's available?
No, the previous employee took a retirement on that one, so we wouldn't qualify for reinstatement. But Ms. Cormier did send me an email yesterday afternoon to request to advertise the position, so I'll have that ongoing shortly.
However, if the individual would like to come back, would he be offered the opportunity such as, no, but I mean, Well, for instance, we've got another individual that's gonna be offered a position who's in retirement. Mr. Peoples. So he's gonna be reinstated. I'm just wondering if the classified individual had the opportunity to get out of retirement and come back.
Classified, if they retired, they don't qualify for reinstatement, but he could reapply for it. He would have to go to retirement, just, have the rules.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
In regards to your statement, as far as advertising, we have to look the hiring freeze first, even though you got approval from the parish president.
We've already done
You
that.
did that when you appropriated in the 17 budget. That when you funded it and unfroze it.
All of this has been funded.
These aren't things to look at.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would recommend that we keep this, safety engineer.
Any questions from the chamber?
Because he wasn't here.
Senior accountant, please. Next. Senior accountant one. Any?
Mr. Chairman, I have two positions here.
Yes.
I mean, in one day and one in purchasing.
All right.
I mean, I could give one of them up. I mean, if you want to get the senior accountant, we could try and make it without, that was Millie Gonzalez who left. But I'd like to get one of those positions. We so short in purchasing and accounts payable,
And they're funded, so I would recommend that we do.
I mean, I can, like I said, if we have to give one, I can give it to senior accountant, I don't have a problem with that.
You don't?
We'll try it.
Transfer the funds to HR and Phil Harvey.
Well, it's gonna go back and unreserved and designated, and that,
Yeah, it will.
we'll pick it up.
Yeah, but at least
I mean, like I said, I'm
Yeah,
one of the things down right now, but like I said, we'll do what we have to do to, I don't want anybody else to get caught and, say we won't get caught.
But Tommy, will that person become a floater between y'all two?
Yeah, we're gonna cross-train.
Yeah, the purchasing clerk, yes.
I have a motion to remove those funds and move it to HR, whatever position.
I'll second
What
that.
fund?
Well,
Tommy, or whatever.
The senior accountant?
Yeah, whatever one you want to move the funds from.
That was fine.
And refund the position for Ms. Horton.
Yes.
Like,
All right.
Next will be custodian.
Well, we're going to station operators.
Well, those are the ones we have decided we can do.
All right, quick.
We have to
How much to vote on that?
Have to vote to move.
As we go.
Move it out?
Okay.
Well, I thought we were just gonna do them all.
Oh, okay, all right,
Okay,
good.
okay, we're looking at it.
All right, I can do it. All right.
The next will be the custodian, yeah, 'cause we're gonna move on to interim employee,
You know, you custodian removing?
Yeah.
All right.
Master Department.
Master company removing? Oh, keeping it?
No, we didn't, yeah.
Need that.
Keep that, all right.
Yeah, but we don't have to do that.
Those backlogs, pool and stuff, that's summer jobs for the summer. So I don't know if you want to keep them in, or you just want to wait till the summer to be reemployed with part-time positions.
do those come out of the $50,000 grant?
Parish paying for it?
Well,
They have the parish have a responsibility.
Well, there's a $50,000 grant up
It's
there.
on the parish responsibility, the rest is none of the parish responsibility. The parish donates $50,000 to give them community center for recreation purposes. Now, that's one-
So that doesn't, this is in
No.
addition?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, it does not. The money is in the operation of the recreation club, of the lifeguards.
Will you defund the position until, since it's a seasonal position?
Check it out, what y'all want to do with
On
that.
that, doing it in fund.
This might have a problem, you don't do what done anyway.
So I would suggest that if you're gonna fund the position, to leave them in, because, as I stated at the beginning of the budget hearing, I hope that we don't come to the table every 2 weeks trying to manipulate positions. fund them,
Is his mic on?
We set the tone for this year, I hope it's right now and today.
All right,
But we know this is a seasonal job, that's all.
all right, I move that we stay in.
But last year, we weren't even able to get any, right, Mr. John?
Yeah, we have, paid for them.
Well, one thing, it takes a little time.
No. We have that, I was paid about that.
Yeah, they came out of salaries, but it takes a little time, so, if Mr. John, could have that in place a little earlier in the year, we could, begin the process with that, then maybe we can have them ready, for the end of May or the beginning of June.
I'm going to keep it as is, and we have a second.
All right.
Clear out. Next item, please.
Buildings.
Permits, building inspector. Now,
We're going to keep that, we said we're keeping that, right?
well, I think we have an ordinance update to take that off and move them to 2 part-time positions.
Oh, okay. Everybody agree with that? Shall I make a,
I don't-
move? I'm sorry, Art,
Yeah.
well, you do disagree, what's that one? Move? Mr. President?
There were 2 proposals on this one. Councilman Black wanted to go part-time. I think it was Councilman Trufant, Councilman Russo, I think, or Councilman Bethel that spoke about. There was someone who had an electrical certification, moving that person and letting them train for the other certifications. So we heard 2 proposals during the course of these budget hearings on that issue. I personally would like the latter proposal. It would tend to perpetuate continuity of government that we've been doing.
So you want to leave that one in?
With your pleasure, that would allow us to train that one electrical certified one and allow them to get into the position and then acquire the other. It was Councilman Russo brought that up, how that was done
I
before.
don't have anybody in mind, I was just throwing out some ideas of what could possibly be, based on the historical facts of how we used to have a permit inspector. And it behooves me to think about that we have someone in the top position of the department that has no license for any of it.
I don't know that, but I thought you had a good idea, Councilman Russo, on that. Good historical perspective.
Mr. Councilman Black?
Yeah, I mean, I never heard that from Mr. Metcalf. What I did hear is that he would recommend having part-time people come in. I understand Ms. Sullivan's dilemma, and I agree with that somewhat. So what I would suggest, because he only asked for 1, is to take the 53, I'm not sure there's anybody in this operation, I would say increase the funding, but I mean, I'm gonna stick with the 2 part-time positions, that's my only recommendation. There's no other money to come out of the operation budget to increase the salary, so.
Well, I'm not gonna fight you guys on it, but that was only my position at the time, and I still take the position that we should be looking for qualified people. But if that's the case, 2 part-timers, I'm cool with that too.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Reverend Giles, I think, may have elaborated on the electrician who is certified. Is that our current electrician we just hired has a certification to inspect electrical inspections? Is that correct?
That's correct. That is correct.
I think he's getting ready to test for the ICC certification for the electrical. He's been studying.
So he may be able to be utilized. At this time, he's not certified to inspect, he's just in the process of getting certified?
That's correct. He's worked in various refineries. He's familiar with a lot of stuff, but I don't know all the qualifications that he would have to have. I know he spoke to Ms. Ellen about it, so she would have a better grasp than I would, but he was willing to work in that position at present pay, and whatever certification he has to acquire, he's willing to go to school and get that.
But I think the difficulty with that is like after Hurricane Katrina, the ICC required types of certification. When in years past, we didn't have to have that. They just had to have those licenses. And they are required to have all 4 of the ICC licenses, either in residential or in commercial. So I don't think they can write the approval of the permits. The last guy that we had in there, we did a provisional hire on him. I think he only had 1 of the licenses, and he had to apply with the other inspectors in order to.
Okay, I thought he was ready to go, would be able to have a dual role, but that's.
He's an electrician, you know, and you hate to lose the electrician.
Oh, absolutely,
And
yeah.
it still doesn't help what Mike needs, which is plumbing, electrical, slab, framing, you know, which he can go out and get somebody part-time on an as-needed basis.
To be honest with you, Mr. Black, we need Mr. Mike to get on and do something to help
I'd
us.
say I disagree with that, but I'll leave it.
Mr. Chair. Actually, I did ask Mr. Metcalf in reference to him going out in the field, and he explained to me that his qualification doesn't require that he be certified in all those positions. John, in some cases, he can make inspections, but in most cases, John would have to come back and also sign off on the same thing, the inspector. I asked that because people was asking me, because constituents and contractors was asking why couldn't he go out in the field and do inspections, and I asked him, and he just told me.
Do we want to leave the building inspector position in place?
Yeah, but
I'm saying that you can make the adjustment however you want to do it, the money, if you leave the funding in place, this is what this is about.
No, I'll remove this from the amendment, and then she puts the money back to, what would you put it into, professional services within Mike's budget?
We had to make one to create 2 part-timers.
That's the one I would like to amend that.
All right, the game plan is to go through here and make one amendment on what we're taking out. That money goes into unreserved and designated. Y'all already have the amendments proposed that we're gonna come back and adopt to do what he says or any of the others, correct?
Right,
So we're not making any amendments, we have to just strike it.
No, you're just trying to tell us what we need to get together so we
So on
can.
this one, we're gonna do the 2 part-timers, right?
Yes.
We're gonna put money in.
No,
You remove it.
Well,
You're removing it from here,
put it in
and put it to you, they're gonna move it on reserve and designated. Yeah.
the, move it, okay.
That was called.
Nancy, communication manager?
Yes, do you intend on filling that, Mr. President?
Yes, I do.
That one has been posted for a second go round, and I haven't had a chance to go through the application yet.
That posted a long time ago, huh?
Posted twice.
What happened the first time?
For some, we didn't have any qualified applicants.
so there's no one in that department that would meet the qualification?
That has the education.
Leave it in.
PPX, okay. Operators, not operators.
The rest of what we didn't pay, we didn't about.
All right, are we leaving that one in or taking that one out?
Leaving it in.
Leave it in?
Yes.
Everybody agree? Next, deck hands, 1, 2, 3, 4 deck hands. Already filled.
Yes, you fair.
1 captain's filled. The 2 captains is not filled.
And I have a second captain that has a list that Joey has, and I think that was sent to Mr. Cormier, and Joey, he better get rid of it, because I know they've been very short-handed.
Right. Okay.
I-
You want these captains in?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. President, I'm sorry.
I know I signed some paperwork on that.
All right, you got one of the captains in, which is needed? All right, good.
Keeping both of them.
Yes.
And you got Joey running one of them.
Okay, pump station operators, 1 that's filled, and we have 1 that's not.
They're both.
How's the license?
Yes, I took it from the interim training department, and Mr. Cormier signed off for all.
So both filled.
So the 2 that we're hiring are going into the department.
All right, good. Truck drivers, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3 drivers, truck driver 2. Everybody leave them in, agree?
Yes.
Everybody disagree? All right, leave them in.
No, wait, we have 1 truck driver and 3 tractor drivers.
Well, I'm sorry, 2 tractors, yeah, 3 tractor drivers. I'm sorry. All right, you got it. Now, leave them in, everybody agree? All right. We could probably keep it this way, check this way. Farm truck drivers, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4, question by Councilman Burke.
Yes, I would offer to leave these in if they're going to be hired.
Yeah.
Can we, Mr.
Councilman, Black?
Since we went ahead with the directors now, salaries, can we get?
Yes, I will be, definitely one I thought your docs.
Okay. If you want to fill this out, I can have them sign now for you. Hey, go ahead.
Send me something saying, please, process.
One of these good.
I don't know how that works, but the guy did earlier with pump out.
I'll just wait, as soon as you vote to pass this, I definitely,
There we go.
I tell you what, I'm signing shortly, I won't date it, I'll put a conditional on the vote.
What we're going to have again,
You voted to pay already.
If we keep those employees,
Along those lines with Mr., just adding to what Mr. Black said earlier with the directors, I just want to comment at this time, Mr. Cormier, even though we didn't bring the director's salary up to the original, but it still was a substantial increase. And I personally just want to say that, Mr. Giles, that we are going to hold, and I'm going to speak for myself, we're going to hold you accountable. We're going to hold Mr. Cormier accountable. You know, we expect services to be elevated to the point that, to the satisfaction of this council. You know, I'm almost ready to take it to the point where if you're dissatisfied with the increase that we brought it up, you should say so. You know, just say I'm dissatisfied, I'm not going to work for that, you're not taking me back to where I'm originally supposed to be at. I'm not taking it, but if you accept it at the amount that we agreed upon today, we're gonna hold your feet to the fire, and I know I am.
So, let me say this, when my salary was cut in February, and I would say unjustly, because all my requests that I received, I had a week or two turnaround on it. I stand by that. But I made a promise to President Cormier that I was going to work with him and for him. And if I was going to walk away, I would walk away in February. So I'm going to continue to do my job to the best of my ability. You can call me at any time. We always share emails with each and every one of you. And whenever there's an issue, I invite you to call me. But I stand on this. I come to work every day. I give 100% every day. I never complain, even when things don't go my way. But I'm here. I'm going to do a job. And I never let money motivate what I'm going to do. I love Platinum Parish, I live in Platinum Parish, and I'm here to serve. I appreciate the pay cuts. It's still being cut, and I'm going to continue my job.
I appreciate your comments, but the reason I'm directing it to you because you're the only director.
For the last 9 months.
But still.
Right, you're right. That's
correct. For the last 9 months.
9 months.
I don't mean it like that. Just Mr. Adler.
And maybe this, my comments could even be directed to the president, respectfully.
Yes.
You know, I wish you would allow the directors to do the job when there's a request from this department. I feel that they should respond respectfully, because after all, we all here to do a job for the constituency.
Okay.
I find, personally, because I thought it was really embarrassing for all of the hoopla that we went through with the directors and this council in the past. But I'm telling you personally, I will hold you guys accountable, and I know my colleagues will too. We need cooperation between both parties. And we need Mr. Cormier to allow the directors to do their job.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm just thankful that this can be deemed a full-time pay. So, thank you for that. And I want to thank Director Giles on behalf of everyone in Plaquemines Parish for his donation of his time, because the $36,000 a year he's been working for the past 11 months since I came on has been, he's been donating time. So.
And I want to thank my colleagues in this council for taking the bold step that you did today.
Thank you.
It's a love fest.
I'd like to note with these, the tow truck drivers, we have about 5 or 6 that were laid off last year that were on a preferred reemployment list. So I won't have to advertise. As soon as I get his notice, I'll update that list from that layoff group and send that over to him.
Okay, dispatch operator, one is filled and one is open. Keith, any Anybody object to that keeping? All right, next page, what we do from here?
Second page.
All right. Public Awareness Officer. Public Information Officer, I'm sorry. Chief, implement. Anybody object?
Yes.
Another question.
Who has a question? Question to me?
Did we ever determine that is this classified or unclassified?
As it was on its last.
It's classified.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ms. Williams?
I would like to make a recommendation that we possibly merge public information officer with an economic developer, or with a supervisor, or someone, because I really think the roles could be shared. We need someone to promote this parish, but not to reinstate it at the salary that the previous economic development department head was making. I just think that we do have a need for an economic development department, and I think that it can work hand in hand with the public information officer. I think that that person could perform a dual role. I don't know how economic development was actually unclassified, correct?
Correct. They had, because the person who took care of the museum, the curator, and they had, the marketing assistant.
So is there any way that the classified position of the public information officer as listed in civil service be able to perform dual roles without having to make any changes, or?
That would violate the civil service rules.
Yes, that's what I
So, this is one time where I will agree with Ms. Barry also that the civil service rules would prevent that. But just so we're clear, and you see in this thing that it says salary with benefits, the salary here is only $42,000 and change. So, I can't remember how much Ms. Mathis was making, but,
I didn't say going back to that pay, and I wasn't referring to leaving it at, I just was asking the question, would this position allow for a dual role such as that?
no, because it's outside the
I'm
scope.
asking this.
Oh,
Well, I mean, any classified position can temporarily do other assigned duties on there, because we would have to look at the job description and see, how it deviated, or how it would deviate, but, I mean, that's still, we would work for Mr. Cormier, so it'd be up to Mr. Cormier.
Well, if it's a classified position, I think it would work for the entire government.
Yeah, just leave
He would be the appointing authority, is what I mean.
Councilman Black?
Yeah, I'll support the PIO position as stated with salary benefits, $60,270 as a classified position. I would also ask that whoever would get that job, utilize the parish government website and Facebook, social media, not their own personal one. I'm not sure why that's being done to begin with, the consultant, but that is a little pet peeve of mine. Because I don't think we're Facebook friends, so she doesn't share my District 2 stuff.
I concur with that.
We also use the public information officer to advertise our jobs.
If you don't want to use her own personal email, your Facebook account.
that would be addressed in that position.
Okay, I'll support the,
Ms. Whitman, Sandra?
Well, I can understand that because she wasn't given the privilege and access to a lot of the parish computer and all this stuff early on. So I think that was the initial problem. But I support too the position to be as a classified position for now until this council, if the council deems anything necessary. But I do think that she needs to work for this entire council. And I think,
Whoever it is. She or he, whoever it may be.
well,
I think it's going to be classified stuff.
yeah.
Council,
But even the one that the young lady that's in position, she had made herself accessible to my office, and I think she had done so to all of the different offices. So, I support the position staying at, salary staying at what it is, and classified.
Any other comments on that? Everybody agree? Okay, move on. Next one is the 2 lifeguards addition to the 8 that was already in place. It was a total of 10. But we may never use all 10, but it was always 10 people that was put in place.
But one clarification for me is that all the blue funded,
Yes.
Drainage foreman. I'm sorry.
The foreman and drainage disposition, the employee will retire on December the 4th. And we would need authorization from our ordinance to lift the freeze on that position. And I think there's another one that said it was needed. So
But it's already,
two foremans that will be vacant.
it's already in, isn't it?
Yeah, there are.
Those are in, but it will be vacant, is why it's listed, as retiring.
Oh,
These are the reasons you took them out the interim,
all right, okay.
so that we can hire them again.
Any comments on that position? Everybody agrees. Next, pump station operating, two of them.
One will be retiring on December the 4th and the other on December the 23rd.
Any objections, waived?
I just have a question. I'm not understanding, if people are retiring, it should automatically be in the budget, so why is this additional funding here on this page?
No, I am just letting you know who has vacated their position since the book was presented to you. That's what the blue section does. In the book, they'll have an employee in that position.
So it just need to be filled, don't need additional funding.
No, we're just letting you know what the additional vacant positions are.
Okay.
Two traffic drivers, two position, two.
yeah, move on.
All right. Everybody agree with that? Any objections?
So do you have a total now for Dr. Manpower? Not yet?
Not yet. I'm gonna put it in, she's gonna give it, I want us to go ahead and hand these out to you,
What are those?
these are the ones we just decided to do.
They decided to do it.
Let's move.
Yes.
You kept yourself on? Did they get it together?
How often? Offered by Mr. Rousseau, second by Councilman A-Stone.
No question.
Anybody have a question at the table?
Mr. John, can you just call out, right at the top, additions to the buildings, so we know which ones are first?
Fund in general, department is built. You want a code?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me do that, second offered by Mr. Rousseau, second by Councilman A-Stone. The question has been called. She is open. How often? Pass on 9-0.
Could y'all not do that, because we don't have copies of the copy.
9-0.
Appreciate it. I have it now. I mean,
This is
don't start-
general purpose plan and
Okay,
zoning.
Mr. Rousseau.
I'll show it to you too.
All right. General, planning, planning and zoning. Has been offered by Mr. Rousseau, second by Ms. Wade. The question from the table, scene is open.
One vote remaining.
Passes 9-0. The next one is general, finance, and accounting. Has been offered by Ms. Sullivan, seconded by Ms. Williams. The machine is open. I'm sorry, Mr. Burke, can I comment?
No.
The machine is open.
Mr. Jones, can I just make it? Can y'all just start with us?
We got, I got
Now, can y'all start with us to begin with, please, Gail and Ms. Debbie? Start with Barb and I, because we're getting them out of order from what they're getting done. Thank you. Which one are we on right now?
Finance.
Okay.
You have that?
Got it. Who offered inside?
Sullivan.
All right, thank you.
The machine is open. Yeah, general. Internal employee training. Machine is open. Okay,
Two votes pending.
one vote, pending. Two votes pending, no vote pending. Passes 9-0. Next was general internal employment training, that was offered by Mr. Acon, our second. Any questions from the table, administration? The machine is open.
It's really showing, Mr. D.
Next.
We don't have next yet.
I know, I'm asking for it. That's all you just call in. What you tell me you really wrong, you know?
I did not say that.
Maybe you did. That's a big question.
I'm good.
All right. Thank you. Next item is general human resource. I'll wait for all the council members to get their document first before we do anything. Offer by Councilman Peters, second by Councilman Black.
Yes, sir.
Any objection from the table? Hearing none, the machine is open.
When you're done, when you
Mr. Berkman.
Passes 9-0.
Mr. Williams. Bert.
I already got a strap for the whole.
17, right?
I do have that strap, to, help Tom, help you out, special made for this one, got it welded.
What's the matter?
Charlie, this one is welded on the strap, the strap you need, the telephone. Firefighting. Offered by Councilman Burke, second by Councilman Sullivan. General. Offered by Councilman Sullivan. Burke, second by Councilman Sullivan. All right. Sheena's open.
Which one is this one?
One minute.
Slow it down.
Economic development.
I got two firefighters, the same one?
Yeah, for training.
have your different numbers there. Sometimes
Now, we have a firefighter training officer, that's not.
That's all they had.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Training officer, go ahead. I had two slips. All right, Fund General, Economic Development / Tourism. Office by Councilman Briggs. Second by
But then, you know,
So you can now, we're off of the, we're finished with the wit, all right?
Read the order now on.
Yes, but, all right, Mr. Williams, office of Ms. Williams. Yes, second. Second by Councilman Keenan, please.
I have a question.
Mr. Councilman Black, you have a question?
This is in economic development?
It should be, yes.
That's what it says, economic development.
I know, we haven't even discussed that. We're going to report to it.
Want to defer that, pass over?
Well, I mean, we didn't discuss it.
This is something that yesterday we were going through, we were saying was a needed position.
Pass over, please.
So I think that now we're out of the.
Money.
Yeah. Off of the page that we were going on, and now we are just bringing us all the amendments that we requested yesterday, finance.
Which one?
Okay. That's the problem.
Okay, so y'all passed the firefighting training officer, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, now we're on economic development.
It's a curing. Positions that were not. It's a curing.
Right.
We're doing all the manpower amendments is what we were gonna try to do.
Yeah, but why are y'all presenting us with positions? All we're going off of is this list.
Well, we just decided,
So we're done with this list?
yes. There was only two that y'all took out.
So now we go through all the amendments that we.
Oh, well, let's slow down.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, I thought we were just going through this list.
No, that's good, I'm good. Good, man.
I recommend maybe we just get all the amendments and take a minute to look through them.
Yeah.
You want all the manpower ones right now?
Yes, all manpower, pass them all out, right, John? Jeff?
I think that's a good idea.
I was going through the list.
Me too, but I didn't realize we only had two.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing your list.
Yeah, but it's not a couple in there. That should be
I'm not
Are you gonna stay in session?
We're looking at 180.
Oh, one each, oh, that's what it
You might want to flip them over.
That's the situation we're in now.
Just fill up, we hang out. Still on. For now.
So I think we need to recess.
I don't think we have to. We have a few more to deal with. Tell me how much more we have.
I have a bunch.
A what?
Yeah, just a minute.
Recess. Just recess, you see how Executive session.
I don't recommend we do them in.
All right, let's go.
What's
All right, first one is over, the machine is over.
Okay, let's do Bobo, Bobo's fine. I'll offer to do them in
Well,
Globo.
let's read them first. See if we put them all.
Okay, okay. Public
Read them
health,
over again, please, all of them.
General Fund, Economic Development Tourism Department, Division General, $45,890 for a curator position. Public Health Fund, Health Department, General Division, $49,105 for Code Enforcement Inspector. Boat Harbors and Shipyards, Boat Harbors, Point Lahash, $36,240 for one guard position. Boat Harbors and Shipyards, Boat Harbors Empire, $36,240 for one guard position. Boat Harbors and Shipyards, Venice, $36,240 for one guard position. Boat Harbors and Shipyards, Eurus, $36,240 for one guard position. The General Fund, Engineering and Public Works, General Division, $12,870 for one project manager. Road Maintenance Fund, Road Maintenance Department, Division Bridges, $10,010 for one part-time bridge tender. Boat Harbors and Shipyards, Boat Harbors Department, Division Venice, $37,840 for one helper position.
That's been offered by Ms. Williams, second to take these and go, machine is open. Passes 9-0. What you need?
Okay, give me 1 second, okay? All right, now. Where we're staying right now basically is, at around $1 million. About $1.2 million in unreserved undesignated right now. And the reason is because we took out all those positions. Those, the positions that we in, additional positions, that was like $600,000. So we took those out, and we added in some little tax stuff. So that's where we're standing right now. About $1.2 million in unreserved undesignated.
Positive.
You have it in line?
Positive on the whole.
Okay.
Any more?
Well, we got a bunch more. Buildings have requested 5,000 more in overtime.
Just pass them out, give it to us.
We have the recreation overtime of 35,000, but we have that, 35,000 coming from maintenance and buildings.
Do you have separated transfers or additions?
This is a transfer.
Like recreation is a transfer.
Right.
The buildings is an addition.
They requested that yesterday?
No, I had an amendment to transfer recreation, $35,000 of, a bunch of costs that he didn't use in 17, and moving it to overtime, because he asked for overtime. So it's within this department, it's already budgeted. It's not an additional amount of money.
I'm talking about buildings.
Well, buildings is an
The
addition.
buildings is an addition.
You do additions on the side, if you could, right? And
Yeah,
then-
I agree.
And then just transfers.
All right. This is,
Or we can get rid of the addition. That's an addition.
yeah.
Did y'all get your garbage?
All this time.
It was late though.
Okay, the next one is amendment number 28 out of the general fund, recreation department, division facilities and services. It's an increase of $35,000 in salary, wages, and overtime, and a decrease for maintenance and building to total out to $0.
What is this?
I offer.
Second by Councilman Black.
I second that.
It's a transfer.
Yours.
You said.
It's the recreation transfer.
I'll second.
You want?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay,
I couldn't hear.
Roger's on his way.
all right, the machine is open. Machine is open. Passes 9-0. Why'd you take the next two in global, because that's when we separated that apart. Read the next two, please.
Amendment 29 is the telecom department, a decrease of $231,170. Amendment number 30 is for the information technology department with an increase of $217,170.
Second.
Offer second, offer Mr. Michelle, second by Councilman Gino. Machine is open. Passes 9-0. Next, please.
That's all we have at this time.
Gonna hand them out right now. All right.
These do not affect the general fund.
What you said, Michelle?
These do not affect the general fund, firefighting and solid waste.
What do you want it now?
Wait, Mike.
You're not gonna be heard, for the time.
She's on. Who's on? Secretary, you have those?
Yes, I do. Amendment number 31 is the firefighting fund, a total decrease of $134,976.
I'll offer. I'll offer the second. Second by Ms. Wade. Question from the table. See the
Next to it, global.
next two in global, signed by me.
Amendment number 32 from the solid waste fund, solid waste department, division district 1, an increase of $275,000. Amendment number 33, solid waste disposal fund, solid waste department, district 2, an increase of $750,000 in the heavy vehicles line item.
Offer by Councilman H. Second by Mr. Gray. Comments from the table? She is open. Passes 9-0. How long we gotta wait?
Do you have those?
Coming, Mr. John.
I know you want to keep it recess.
There's going to be Council on Aging Care Center, Hawaii, and LSU bill. There's four of them.
Did you do all the transfer?
That's it. We did the transfer.
No, about the transfer to council secretary. That's $25,000 from that line item?
That was in health.
No, I didn't get it. It goes to council secretary?
She goes to the council secretary, but she has other items on hers.
You got your money? 25,000?
I'm just reading.
I didn't
She's
see
got an
it.
extra grant.
It's gonna be, you're saying the transfer from telecom.
We just added fifth out council and then
And add
added.
it to yours, she had an extra agreement.
Okay, so we already decreased it.
No, we didn't.
We're gonna increase it under,
Anybody object to doing these in global?
Right.
Secretary, would you read, please?
Amendment number 34, General Fund, Council on Aging, General, an increase of $150,000. Amendment number 35, General Fund, Community Programs, General, an increase of $200,000. General Fund, YMCA, Division General, an increase of $200,000. And amendment number 37, General Fund, Department LSU Ag Center, General Division, an increase of $50,000.
Offer, a second. Yes, second. Ms. Williams, second. Any discussion from the table? Sheet is open.
One vote pending.
Not used.
Passes 9-0.
We have, internal audit,
That's what it's right here. Should be a week. Madam Secretary?
Amendment number 38 is for the General Fund, Internal Auditor Department, General Division, an overall increase of $17,295.
Offered by Councilman Russell, second by Councilman Sullivan. Any questions from the table? Who want me to pass it up? That's not the question.
Internal Auditor increase of $17,295.
Is there a question on that? All right, the sheet is open. Passes 9-0. Next item?
I got one at the DA's office.
got some decreases coming forward.
You told me the record folks was going faster than that. Secretary, would you read, please?
Amendment number 39 from the General Fund.
No vote.
From the General Fund, Parish Council Department, Division General, an increase of $52,500.
Amendment number 40, from the General Fund, Council Secretary Department, General Division, an increase of $28,000.
I offer, is that second? Second by Councilman Gino. Any discussion from the table?
Just made note, those are transfers, so it's not a, yeah,
I didn't hear you, Councilman.
just want to make note that it's a transfer, not a.
Oh, okay.
Well, people think that we had in council.
Believe me, you're not.
Seat is open. Passes 9-0. Secretary.
Amendment number 41, from the General Fund, Sheriff Department, Prison Point Hash Division, an increase of $271,792. Amendment number 42, from the General Fund, Courthouse Security Department, General Division, an increase of $15,000.
I offer a second. Second by Councilman Black, Councilman Sullivan, and Councilman Bishop. The seat is open. Passes 9-0.
We have one for the Western Project Complex.
What was that called?
We did a run show. Not yet.
You really want one?
Yeah.
We have two? Right now, we got about $400,000.
You know how many shows you got, man?
Yes.
That's it?
Yeah, we did all this one stuff.
I think one time that we let everybody know that we gone broke.
Yeah, but you did all the ones for the, the Council on Aging, Community Action, you did $271,000 for sheriff. So,
Well, somebody needs to raise the flag before we run out.
well, this next one's gonna help us, 277, but
You got any more cuts that need to come for us?
this next one, the 277 is a cut.
Okay, you got any more cuts for us?
I'll save you money if we cut the 17,000 that's in the budget to give to DA to continue suing us with.
I think we ought to negotiate that.
Mr. Balday's here, you could have him help us out.
63,000 for health.
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's coming next after y'all.
Where we at?
Let's pass these and then give us a running total so everybody knows that we have this completed. Because I think we need an unreserved designated fund balance in the neighborhood of at least $500,000.
And we're already below that.
At least, yeah. Yeah, you,
We'd like to put 277.
yeah, you got
That's the $4,000, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
This will give it the 277.
Let's do these.
yeah, that'll give you some, yeah.
Let's do these and just see where we are.
Amendment number 43, from the General Fund, Legal Services Department, Division General, a decrease of $277,000. Are we doing this in Globo? Amendment number 44, General Fund, Safety Department, General Division, an increase of $7,430.
Often go to, I offer a second by Councilman Rousseau. Question from the table. Sheet is open.
Oh, you ever that? I ain't gonna say
That's what you
I figure what we had.
660,000, the non-reserve and designated.
And we got a $300,000 pump station built coming up there.
Amendment number 45, General Fund Coastal Zone Land Department, General Division, an increase of 300,000. Amendment number 46, Road Maintenance Fund, Road Maintenance Department, Bridges Division, an increase of 20,000.
Alvin Glover?
A second voter comment.
Glover?
Glover,
Councilman Black? Comment. And Alvin, second by Mr. Roussel, offer, second by Councilman Black.
Yeah, this is a recurring expense, 300,000 probably every year. And I just want to make note, as I spoke to the president that's fallen a long time ago about this, there is a possibility if the council so decided to, we're, you know, within the Constitution, we could, bring a half mil or percentage of a mil forward to pay for that. Just an option, I said we should do it, but I think that's something probably we should talk about, you know, amongst ourselves later on, if we want to bring that to a vote. I know Mr. Burdette talked about recreation mill, that's something maybe we could put jointly on a ballot, if we decide to do so.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I'm saying sometimes you don't have to go to that.
We don't have to do it with that.
What?
We don't have to do it that way. I don't do a bill for that, but, you know, I know some council members prefer.
But anything that deals with the levies and stuff like that, we go through the levy system itself and
Yeah, right.
impose that, and nothing, no problem whatsoever. But that's how I think, we discuss it,
We'll
man.
discuss that.
Any other comment? She's open. I heard that.
One vote pending.
Oh, that's Nancy.
Passes 9-0. Next item.
I think, Kevin, it's time for us to get a,
We'll take a total, a break and get the total right quick, can we do that? All right.
You know, $361,000.
How much?
You know, 361, non-reserve and designated.
361 now?
361.
well, you know, this is, getting to a point that we are getting to dangerous territory with no unreserved and designated fund balance.
You still have a revenue one to reduce it by 107,000.
What's that?
You have a revenue one left to reduce it 107,000.
Now, look, if we don't take this, I mean, I gotta go back through these to make sure it's all right. I mean,
Well, we got one reduction on the table and one,
So we need to be about 3.
Could you read those in global, please?
Amendment number 47, Public Health Fund, Health Department, General Division, a decrease of $63,000. Amendment number 48, Public Health Fund, Mosquito Control Department, Division General, an increase of $60,000.
I offer the second. Second by Councilman Acon. Questions from the table? The sheet is open.
Back up to 364.
no, we're not.
No.
We just took another 3,000 out.
We had an offset.
2 votes pending.
That was 63 reduction, 60 addition.
That's what I said.
Yeah, one up three, Mr. Russo.
We have 360.
We up three.
Right. Up by 3.
360.
7, 2 out. All right. We'll discuss some more suicide.
Time to take a quick recess.
All right, we'll take a recess, about 2 minutes. Back in second.
Amendment number 49 is from the general fund, reimbursement, Port Harbor, and interagency fees, a decrease of $107,918.
Offered by Councilman Michelle, second by Councilman Byrd. Comments on the table? To administration. The seat is open.
Two votes are pending. One vote's pending.
Pass it 9-0. I'll take the,
Before we move any further, can we, get a,
And $187,000 right now.
for unreserved and designated fund balance?
That's correct. That last one, that was a negative $107,000.
Well, I would caution my colleagues not to spend another nickel.
Where?
187,000.
Yeah, that's what the transfer from BP, yeah. So you have, right now you're looking at $187,000, that's what you're down to. And we don't have anything else, you know, no more amendments to reduce anything, anything else is to increase. Hold on.
I would suggest that we go to, 2019 wish list, put those in the capital improvement budget.
Flip those in global, please.
We have some of in your stack that's 2018.
19.
And that all,
Some of them are 2018.
I'll take them.
I know, we're taking those out.
Okay.
Take those, 3.
3 of 2018.
6.3 million.
6, it'd be 663. 663,000.
Yeah, all of them.
You're gonna call them off?
We'll just read them all.
We have 3 that's in 18.
I'm trying to get the numbers.
Okay, amendment number 50 is, the project name is the Regulatory Upgrades Capacity Bell Chase Water Treatment Plant. General Fund 2019 funding of $6,300,000. Number 51, improvements Empire Boat Harbor, 2019 funding from the general fund, $360,000. Amendment number 52, Waterline Breakaway, 2019 funding from the Water and Sewer Fund, $2,500,000. Amendment number 15, Project Resurfacing Striping Highway 15, 2019 funding from the General Fund, $600,000.
That was upgrading amendment number 3.
Number 53. Amendment number 54, the project is sewer repairs, Bergeron and River Oaks Drive. Funding source is the Water and Sewer Fund, $1 million funded for 2019. Number 55, the project is the drainage improvements, culvert and Upsilon Road. The funding source is the general fund, funding year 2019, $500,000. Amendment number 56, District 2 LED lights upgrade project, funding source general fund, funding year 2019, $100,000. Amendment number 57, the drainage improvement LA 406 project, funding source the general fund, funding year 2019, $200,000. Amendment number 58, expansion LA 406 project. General fund is the source. The year 2019, $200,000. Amendment number 59, lighting upgrades Louisiana 23/Louisiana 406 from the general fund. Funding year 2019, $150,000. Amendment number 60, resurfacing striping Highway 15. General fund, funding year 2019.
We already did that.
That's what I'm going.
Take that out.
Amendment number 60 is the Waterline Phoenix project. Funding source water and sewer fund, year 2019, $2 million. Amendment number 61. Is a duplicate, Waterline Phoenix, so ignore that. Amendment number 61, Highway 11 Burris project. Funding source, the general fund, funding year 2019, $1 million. Okay. Amendment number 62 is the drainage culverts Myrtle Grove project. Funding source, general fund, year 2019, $600,000. And that should be it for 2019.
Offers? Mr. Offer? Ms. Second? Second by Councilman Sal.
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman. Go ahead, Mr.
Question, if we pretty much bottomed out as far as spending the money for 2018, I would actually put my pump that I desperately need for Empire, which is $600,000, if we could put that in 19, please.
Madam Secretary,
Yes.
read that, please.
You just want the pump in 2019?
Yes.
Yes.
Empire floodgate,
Yes.
pump
Yeah.
for 600,000.
Yes.
You want me to read currently? I was going to change our rules.
Yeah, don't give them out.
Okay, amendment number 63, Empire Floodgate Pump Project. General fund is the funding source. 2019 will be the year, $600,000.
Changes, offer, Mr. 76, yes. 47. Any other comments from the table? Administration, sheet is open. Passes 9-0. All right, could you, read the next two, please?
Amendment number 64, improvements Hunter Perez Park project. General fund is the funding source. 2018 is the year, $30,000. Amendment number 65, lights Empire Bridge project. General fund is the funding source. Funding 2018, $33,000.
Yes. Let me, I'll get it all up over the table if you want to discuss. It's offered by Councilman Strong, second by Ms. Williams. Ms. Sullivan?
I just have a quick comment on that. Sidewalk conversation with Mr. Bird and Mr. Edgecombe. I'm not objecting to improvements to the park, because I think every district needs a park. But I'm still not clear whether or not the legal ramifications of that park. As far as I last heard from Mr. Burmaster, there's still some issues with the reversionary rights to that park. And I would not be in support of doing any type of improvements to the park that we stand, that we would stand to have a problem with. So I just need some answers. I don't know if Mr. Barbie have any comments or any.
I have to study it well enough to answer that question. I haven't been asked to come up with an opinion on that, so if you'd like me to, be happy to. I just can't give you an answer. I'll run from that. That would be worthwhile anyway. So, I I do have some concerns, I've seen it, but I've not researched it. And I think there is a small chance of what you're fearful of, but I don't know, I don't know to answer that question right now. LB was looking at it since he's our property expert, and I will try to get him to put forth an opinion as shortly as possible if you'd like to.
Now, I don't want to stand in the way of progress, but my concerns is valid. You know, if it's, nobody can offer me any other explanation, but the last I heard, and this was just recent, that reversionary rights is still in place. So, you know, that's my negative.
Mr. Ishton, I would respectfully ask the authors of this legislation to put this in the 2019 budget, because we are already dangerously low in unreserved and designated fund balance, and if the finance department would tell us what that number is, this would deplete us to what point?
We're at 187,000 right now, 150. And then 124 for those two. That's 30 and the 33, correct?
Yes.
You'd have 124.
I mean, you know.
I mean, that's, you know, we did a lot of stuff, so if I made one little error in calculation, you know, we're so close right now. And keep in mind too, anything you do in 2017 at the next council meeting, you know, if there's anything we need to have to cover, something like that, that's going to affect this number too.
That's my point. You know, really, we shouldn't be below $500,000. And that's, well, common sense.
I mean, the only other choice is to pull it from one of the other fund balances, or you go back and try to cut some.
How much is emergency fund right now?
It's 3 million. Hang on, I'll bring it up for you. I'll bring up the all fund balances. If you look at what's on your, well, she didn't have that screen. 3,509 is what's in the emergency fund.
Well,
8,000,007 what's in the bond indebtedness. I know you don't want to take that out. I mean, that's 1 year's bond payment.
my point is that we have gone beyond what many of us had intended by spending the $5 million BP money 2 years in a row. And to continue to go down the tube with the general fund with only 100,000 plus reserves is dangerous. And I would ask again to put these projects in 2019. Other than that, I mean, basically I can't support any more funding or spending at this point.
Councilman Ishmael?
Yes. Getting back to Ms. Audrey's comment, I know Danny Garrett sent an email out regarding the reversionary rights on Hunter's Park, pretty much all my colleagues. Now, as far as putting it on the back burner or whatever, Mr. Purcell understands the situation in with the budget. I would consider to ask that we could at least move forward with the $33,000 for the lights on the Empire Bridge, which is a match with the state. That way we can get that project moving forward instead of the safety issue in our area. And that's $33,000, I think, or 600 and something thousand for the project. And I would actually hold off on the Huntress for right now until I can make sure Ms. Audrey did get the right records and go forward at that later date if she's okay with that.
I would respectfully appreciate you doing that, sir. And, you know, but I wanted to be noted that I'm not against you guys having a park in the area, because I'm a big avid proponent of parks. I think they're necessary in each community. I still have issues with that reversionary rights.
Ms. Audrey, can I just send LB a message asking to leave her on that?
Okay, thank you.
Well, Danny has all the records and he sent his opinion to all.
I feel like the department has to differ from what Mr. Garrett said, so if we can get the two gentlemen in the room together and they both give us a conclusive decision, then I'm good with it, but until that happens, you know.
Well, I might add, LB is actually a property title specialist. That's what he does, that's his expertise.
LB, not Bell, not Mel.
Well, Belvin had some contractual language he was concerned with, but LB, at the end of the day, the guy's been doing that for about 50 years. I tend to believe what he says.
That's all, so I'd just like to move on the 33, please.
You can
I'm going to take the second back, please.
For both of them, yes.
All right, now, Mr. Davis offers accepting of the lighting
Yes, sir.
project,
I'll second.
and Ms. Williams second.
And let me just
Mr. Rousseau.
this is a match for the state funding,
Yes, sir.
and do you anticipate any other costs other than this
No,
$33,000?
sir, not to my knowledge, as per Mr. Dugas.
You know, I'll vote for this, but this would be the absolute last thing I can vote for. I mean, because of the state match, I wouldn't want to see us lose the state match, but, I hope there's some fiscal restraint coming down the pipe.
Any other comments from the attorney? Administration? She's just open. Passes 9-0.
Chairman,
Councilman Black?
Tommy, so that leaves us, with 154?
Yeah, I didn't put that one in yet, but yeah.
Yeah, 154.
The 187 minus.
Yeah, right. All right, so if we stop now and what I would like, what my goal would be, I'm not sure if my colleagues would agree, is if we would settle at the bond indebtedness at 8.5 million, and emergency fund at 3.5, that would give us 209,000 to put back into the unreserved and designated, which would be 363. I think we'd like to get to 500,000 at the minimum, and then we work back up, try to go back to the budget and locate another, 137,000, and then shut it down. I mean, that would give us 500,000 unreserved and designated, 8.5 in bond indebtedness, and 3.5 in emergency fund. I mean, that's as rock bottom as I think we need to be. But we need to find 137,000. I mean, I don't want to, I'd like to open it up for anybody else's opinion on that, and that's just an idea.
And, the only qualm I have with the bond indemnity fund is that the amount that you have in there now is actually 1 year's pending, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so, without digging a hole deeper for next year, I'd like to feel comfortable that payment is there.
At 8.7.
That's whatever, he's budgeting, whatever that exact payment was.
I'm hoping, and he had mentioned before, that we can go back to bond attorneys and see if we can renegotiate that rate, if we can save 200,000, I don't know, I mean, I know it's
It's a stretch.
I know it's a stretch, but,
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, I'm not gonna go out there and say it's something we can do.
all right.
If you want to go back and open up the budget to some more review and try to find it, I don't.
I mean, otherwise it would be 337,000, we'd have to open the budget to go find. But I mean, that's, God, that's almost rock bottom.
Yeah, that's right, Bob, really.
Right.
I mean, you,
Another way, Mr. Russo, we would be chancing it with the 8.5 instead of the 8.7. You're not comfortable with that, Tommy? That 8.5?
I mean, we can, we try to get it up to, 500,000.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, right now, if you went 8.5 in bond,
You got $150,000.
you'd be 137 short.
Well, tell me, what do you have in the emergency fund right now?
3.509.
Okay. What if we took the whole 500,000 out of emergency, and we got 3 million exactly in emergency fund?
Probably not take anything out.
I mean, 3.5 is where we at now. That's almost rock bottom. I mean, that is rock bottom.
You can do that, you can take the 500,000 out of the emergency.
Let me say this, we can take the whole $3 million out and spend it if we want to.
I know.
But where do we stop?
Right.
I mean, we have exhausted $10 million of BP funds this year and last year, or this year and next year. I mean, if we keep digging a hole, there'll be no end. So, as I stated, I relinquished myself to 33,000 because of the state matching funds, but personally, I can't vote for any more or another dollar expenditure, knowing that once he finishes all the calculations, we may be below that.
It's possible, I think I got them all in there correctly, but I mean, you know.
And look, this is my position, and I'm at 8.5 on the bond, 3.5 on emergency, which leaves us 137 left, and we gotta go find it within the budget. That was at 500,000, that's my bottom line. I'm not going any lower than 3.5 emergency, and I'm not going any lower than 8.5 on bond.
Okay, let's start with that, and then
How about we just don't leave things as they are, and if time to come back with us at the council meeting, if something needs to be done, then we move forward.
But we have to establish that we need to stop the bleeding, don't go.
Well, that's the whole point, we don't do anything,
We don't encourage.
we don't do anything else, we don't do a thing. Unless we hear from our finance department to ask us what we need to do.
And then my only concern is there's 2017 issues.
Well, that's what I'm saying, we have to.
You know, there's departments that are really close
Yeah.
to being over budget. You know, and that's something I was waiting, I have on the table for 2017 to go and address those things.
And that's right now, huh?
And that's right. Well, that's gonna be at the December 14th meeting.
What about today?
Today's meeting, all I want y'all to do is accept this, is to adopt this budget. There's 3 ordinances out there.
The board's giving you 206,000 in December. So you have an increase that wasn't budgeted before.
Well, I already had $200,000 in there for 2017.
All right.
So, I mean, it may be,
They're just paying, I got you.
there's not gonna be a whole lot of revenues from the increase. I know there's $88,000, and that's for a permit, that's somebody.
So if anything needs to be done, you can tell us when we go to the regular council meeting in December.
Yeah, but just keep in mind, anything that we do for 2017 is gonna affect the beginning of
Right,
2018. So
understand.
if this goes to 2018, then, you know, you're not gonna have a lot of room to play.
So we just need to shut it down altogether till next fiscal year, January.
Right, I like to say that, but when I go back through all the budgets for 2017, and I see that, I know mosquito control, I told y'all the other day, he was over, I know, by $10,000 already.
So what are you comfortable with, 500,000?
I would say, yeah, I would say about $500,000.
I mean, I don't mind working.
I don't either, but I mean, if we're gonna work to take our designated funds away, I'm not interested in hanging around, you know, because what are we doing?
The only reason I can is to see what, you know,
So if you leave at 3.5, take the 9,000 and bring it up to, 146. Then put it at 350, let me find 350. Can we take at least a look over the budget?
Yeah, I have no
Well,
problem.
I'm going to the bottom deadness, all the emergency fund, just remove 9,000 from emergency, make it a clean 3.5, and go find 3,000. I mean,
if y'all wish, I mean, if y'all wanna take a chance and go with what we got, I mean, you know, it's a chance.
I'm asking you to find $350,000. I don't want to sit here working.
Me,
I
I'm good for it, that'd be too much good.
mean, that would give us 3.5, 8.7, and 500,000.
I'm with you. I mean, we can pay some of the costs that we had, originally, and we put back in. I mean, when we,
Start with the increase. We need to start, if we can do that, we start with the increases. I mean, but again, we're as y'all know, we're, short to begin with.
Okay, can we take a break before we dig in?
yes, sir. There's no good solution. I mean, the thing is to go back in and
I have a
try.
question, do we have a contract with Paws for the $200 and something thousand that we give to them?
Yeah, they work on it.
We don't have a contract with them though. I mean, that figure stood out because it was a big chunk of money, that's why I was just only asking.
Yeah, but if we didn't, we'd have to pay twice as much to go get township employees to run the department. They don't get the volunteers, et cetera. I mean, we made that agreement, so they can run that entire department pretty much.
Motion to adjourn the budget hearing. That second? That second? Second by Mr. Levine. Any questions on the table?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna vote no to adjourn because I think we should work.
Any other questions?
Adjourn for the day?
Adjourn the meeting.
No, he wants to adjourn the budget as is.
Then if we need anything, you'll let us know the next council meeting, what we need to do. Any other questions, Tim? Machine is over.
So if we vote yes, we're meeting's over.
Yeah, and we
Just
pretty
let the game
much
out,
sure.
then we'll come to the regular council meeting.
But that would put us into next year.
That would send a message that this council's not willing to work out to 5 o'clock and go fire $350,000, in my opinion only.
Wait,
No, I just, if we wait, my only concern with that is that would push us into 2018, because we had to introduce stuff in the December meeting, and it would go into the January meeting as far as making any kind of amendments. I'm not opposed to sitting here another 30 minutes to an hour to try to, Tommy, what is your recommendation? Do you feel comfortable leaving it as is, or should we find this $350,000? That's,
You know, I don't like to be this low. I mean, because there's so many things that we did. You know, if there's a chance that we made a mistake, I could be in that. You know what I mean? But, I mean, we can come back and try to correct it, you know? But I don't like to be below $500,000. I mean, I think we could find another $300,000 in this budget if you want to do that, but it's up to you. I mean, if y'all want to go with it the way it is,
What would you suggest us looking, Tom?
what's that?
What would you suggest us looking?
I mean, I hate to offer up anybody's money.
yeah, you're more familiar with all of this than we are.
We just went through the whole thing, guys. It ain't gonna take long.
Okay, you got some money to give up legal department? Judge and deal?
any more questions?
That's what the paper going to become.
Where are you gonna take it from?
Any other questions, comments? Machine is over.
Hold your ring out, Tommy. Somebody gotta come kiss it.
2 votes pending.
2 people.
Minutes away from the exit.
1 vote pending. Still 1 vote pending.
We vote no.
Vote is to cancel for the,
We're voting on what to stay and find money?
No.
Yes to go home, or no to keep working?
Well, you're not gonna work.
it's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 3, 1.
No. It's 5, we stay.
Yeah. Yeah, we voted to adjourn,
Yeah, vote to
so we
adjourn.
stay, because it was,
Okay, all right. You shall have it.
I'm gonna see you what we're gonna do.
10 minutes recess.
I will. Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am,
I need to give him my mic, sir. Okay, thank you. Tommy, I think everybody probably has a certain line item we can get a little bit of money from. Can we just do a running total? I think we started at 137, we want to get to 500.
Okay?
My first thing would be take 900,000 from the emergency fund and move that. That'll leave us with 3.5 in emergency fund, and we'll stop at that. So that's 9,000, add it to 137. I have a couple other items. We looked through different departments and saw that some of the items were not gonna, that were not spent the last couple of years. The first one, in the HR department, 532.125 at page 39 in the gray, that's 12,000. They haven't spent that in a couple of years. The gray pages,
532.153?
Yeah, it's, hold on. 532.125, professional services, that's 12 grand. Civil service, page 41, same issue, that's page 41. 521.110. Last year was 500, they didn't spend anything in 16, and for some reason we give them 4,500, actually 5,000. Deduct that 5,000, so that's a total of 17. Also on page 41, 551.405. Training, this is the first year they give them 2,000, pay 2,000 from that. That makes that 19 out of those two departments. Maintenance on page 54.
Now, when you talk about maintenance, we gotta go to the white page because they're got stuff scattered all over, but.
This is recreation page.
I'll find it, tell me what you're looking for, I'll find it.
It's on, if you go to recreation, page 54, 546-170. No, I'm sorry. What?
Page 54.
I don't know what it is, page 54. I'm sorry, 54. That's maintenance, 546-710. Yeah, it was an increase. They only spent $1,600 last year for lumber and wood, to $11,840. But if you cut that $10,000 and give them what they had last year.
Hang on a minute, because recreation.
It's not recreation, sorry. I misspoke. Page 54 on the gray.
54 on the right.
On the gray, yes, sir.
Ms. Dawson has a question for you.
What's the code?
It's 546-170.
And how much?
In 2017, you need to come back here. I can't hear you. 546-710, materials, lumber, and wood. They got a proposal of $11,840. In 2017, it was just $1,600. If you cut that $10,000, that gives them exactly what they spent last year. Plus another $10,000. And then 750, 546, 750 materials, electrical. That's an increase of 25,000. So you take, I don't know, 20,000 out of that and just leave them 5,000. That's the same page, so on page 54.
Yes. That 20,000 was the maintenance, right? Okay.
Yes. If you go to my district 2, I have 4,000 on travel, take 100% of that, take all 4,000. The president's department and legal department, they have 25,000 total in travel. I'm not sure what he wants to touch in that travel. I would suggest taking a few out of that. So if you take maybe 5,000 on the president's travel, 5,000 on legal travel, that leaves them to 10 and 5. I mean, I'm not sure what's that total for me, for the stuff I found. Trying to just get a total real quick. You got a number, Tom?
Are we just gonna go down the line, or, I mean, because I have a couple too, Mr.
Yeah, I guess so.
12, 5.
That's 204 right now. I got 204.
No, I did not yet. I was waiting for permission.
How I'm just waiting for the number from Tommy.
I got 204.
I have a recommendation.
Yeah, I don't think everybody has recommendations, I just want to get a kind of run total.
Okay.
Yeah, he says, is that Mr. Council?
Yes, well, yeah, I'm just waiting.
10 and 20.
Yes.
Mr. Williams, ready when y'all are.
72,000.
72?
That's with the emergency fund. I mean, the
The
emergency,
9,000 for emergency.
yeah, I mean,
I'm just taking, Tom, it's 9,000 bucks.
I know, but I mean, it's the designation, this fine, we can do it that way. I just gotta add that to the ordinance.
That's the 137.
Ms. Williams, Ms. Davis, you got it.
I recommend,
Ms. Williams, ready?
I recommend removing the communications manager position that we approved previously for $76,500 and $50 or 60. I have it circled, so I can't make it out, but that's, and I'm still looking through the book, but that's my recommendation as of right now.
Councilman H. Collins?
Yeah, Tommy, you ready?
Yes. Go ahead.
Coastal zone 548.105.
What's the problem?
Coastal zone.
548.105.
Yes, ma'am. We moved 3,500. They had 5,000, they only spent like 700. Also 554-705, we moved 4,000, they had 5,000. And they only spent
Oh, I do have another recommendation.
800 some dollars.
Oh, there is a
I like to look at that there, now the corner, I see there's a
I was looking at that too.
13% increase there.
There's some things he hasn't used in a few years too, in that one.
Yeah.
I highlighted some. I mean, it's different minimal, but it's every penny counts at this point. And unless we have an increase in services needed for him, maybe we ought to not touch that.
No, I'm talking about in the salary cap, personnel services.
Uh-oh.
Looking up there, it's a 13% increase.
Yeah, what is that?
I have no idea.
Shelby, y'all know with the, and I know y'all do other things now, the coroner, there's a 13% salary increase.
He had a 10% cut last year, and now we're funding his positions at 100%. He was one of the departments that took a 10% cut last year, right, Judge?
So we funded the judges and all that too, as well? Full, which was prior to 17? Okay, maybe percentage. You heard that, maybe with the increase was?
Yes, I mean, that doesn't,
No, I just wanted the justification. What if we do 5% instead of the 10?
No, personally, I think that's 3% with all the others.
Right.
Cover that, that'll cover.
Michelle, is there any way we can just put them at a 3% increase like everybody else?
Wait, my mom's saying we're up.
Okay.
I have the wrong number. So the civil service, your 541 point, what was the end of that? Because they don't have the 005.
Still shows the top, and one, one, zero.
I have that, it's the next one, it's 551.
Yeah, 55405. Make a recommendation.
Takes a lot of,
Hey, did you get that, position?
No, we didn't do an amendment to that, Paul.
I don't know, but listen.
You want to take 10% out of 40? You want to take 10% out of 40, which is a 13% increase?
Maybe I'm wrong.
I just think that the 3% should be across the board. That would be my recommendation. That's what I thought it was anyway.
Right, me too.
Thanks for letting me know this table. Find something?
Hello, Brian.
Mr. Chairman. Yes, I have a question for Councilman Black. Councilman Black, so it's your position that the director of the port should have a travel budget that's greater than 7 times the budget of the parish president for travel? So the port should be representing the parish? Because that's what your amendment does.
Mr. President, with all due respect, this isn't a board meeting, and we've done...
No, this is on allocation of resources. Please answer the question. So you think that the director of the port, again, the tail wagging the dog, should have a travel budget that's 7 times greater than the people of this parish who elected the parish president has? That's your position.
My position is we've dealt with the port. Would you stop bringing up the port and work on
7
your
times.
parish government?
That's your position.
My position is you're the parish president, focus on this budget. Why can't you focus on this?
I wish you'd focus on this government as opposed to just a specialty project.
Yeah, it's a specialty project. Why, because it's not yours, so you're upset about it? Let's just fix this budget. Have you given us...
Fixing it at the expense of this government.
Have you given us...
You're fixing it at the expense of this government.
Besides cutting the DA, have you given us any recommendations?
I don't hate anyone, Councilman Black. I'm fighting for this government bill. That's what I'm fighting for.
Mr. Russell, request a recess. Moving off here. Because he, Gary, I don't know the time. 5:49. Comments on the tape?
Have amendments?
What's this?
Unfortunately, this term is in my bag.
all right.
See you.
it's not. We'll just keep going.
We just gonna charge us every damn thing.
Getting rid of it fast. How are you, Janet? So great. Oh my God.
Just to make sure everybody has it. Okay, the first one.
Please listen up.
The first one we have is.
Please listen up and run over and put it in order.
The first one we have is for telecoms, a decrease of $76,660. The next one is the judges, Division B and juvenile, $26,730 decrease. General ferries, a $65,000 decrease. Human resources, a $12,000 decrease. District 2 council, a $4,000 decrease. Maintenance, a $30,000 decrease. Parish president, $5,000 decrease. Legal services, a $5,000 decrease. And the coroner, $17,619 decrease.
We got it, we got it.
For which department was the legal service increase? Kim?
The general fund. And it was line item, civil service line item advertising. Yeah.
Get civil service.
Oh, legal services, I'm sorry. Yeah. Legal services, general fund, travel, 5,000.
So just for the record, we've cut over 200,000 from the Clackamas Parish government and legal, and we're giving, we still haven't touched the $20,000 increase for the district attorney's office that has seven attorneys that we pay for, and yet they're going to hire outside counsel to sue us with.
Tommy, did you take those two that I gave you? It was 3,500 and 4,000. Both was on?
If this passes, just want to let Ms. Barrios know to remove that position from the posting, the communications manager.
Finance will confirm with her.
Huh?
The finance will confirm everything.
Okay. I don't know, hire somebody. That'd be one position you hire pretty quick, otherwise. Sorry, make sure it's there.
Question I have concerning the travel, the president travel and the legal service travel, is that the same department? Should that be 10,000 for the same department, out of the same department?
It's a good question, Chairman. I don't know who offered that. But what was the line item for that one?
One is 551.105. But they're both the same.
So you got two.
You know, one
Yes,
is,
there's two different descriptions, but it's both the same line item.
you know, it's different items, it's,
Account, I'm sorry, account.
Different account numbers. Items.
yeah, the funds, the departments, divisions are different.
The account is the same. It says account number 551.105. And on the other one, it says the same thing under account.
Line number.
Which department?
The divisions is different, 2150 and 2118. But why would they have the same account number?
Which department is the legal one?
One is the president's department, the other one is legal service.
Yeah, it's two different departments.
I'm sorry?
One's legal services department, one's parish president. There's two different departments, same account.
The legal department, that did not be reflected in legal. That was past president.
Just two different departments.
So it's not utilized by both, by the president, both of those, just one of those. Just the president can have to get that.
Ultimately, it's the administration getting cut, whacked.
What about the deal with 10 from one administration?
Especially when you cut over $202,000 from the 2014 budget out of the parish president's fund.
Can we agree to taking 5 on them? Still 10. I don't mind supporting up to do 5, but I can't do 10, I can see one part. And if not, we'll just do them individually when we get to those two. And I'll just, I'll vote for one. Alright? Good. All right, ready. We want to take the two travels out of the global and do those independently. I just can't see taking 10 out of the. You already read those, right? No, yeah.
Yeah. We're referring to,
Beg your pardon?
we're referring to 551.120, is that the?
There's 105 in the same department, administrative, the president department, that he's cutting 10,000 out of this department, travel.
Well, I'm looking at that line.
Well, I can see one, I can see 5.
But,
One's under the president department,
Right, I
one's
understand.
under legal.
But
But it's the same line item in every department.
Sheriff,
Mr. Chair,
Sheriff,
I'm looking at the line item, in 2016, the actuals for that line item was $2,650. In 17, today it's been $1,300, so the anticipated budget proposed is $15,000. He hasn't spent $5,000 in the last 2 years.
and it's not the same line item.
excuse me if you don't mind.
Tommy, tell them.
Then get to it.
With all due respect, this government, parish government, has been gutted. And you look to 2014, and the parish president's expenditures were, I submitted a budget that was less. I cut over 202,000 comparatively speaking. We've been getting by rock bottom, and you can only do that for so long. I mean, look, I understand, you know, if it's desired for the council, for, you know, certain special districts to have 7 times the travel budget than the parish president, you guys have the vote. It shows where the priorities lie.
With
That's
all
all.
due respect, in 2014, I'm sure the revenues were extremely larger than they are now. I just hate for us to keep reverting back to 2014. That was prior to all of us being here, with the exception of the 2 sitting returning council members. I'm looking at what we have in this book spent in 16 and 17. I'm just trying to make a point that 5,000 wasn't spent in either one of those years. And we're budgeting for 15,000 just for that line item. That's the only point that I'm trying to make.
And I thank you and I appreciate that point. And, and 20,000 wasn't spent either in one of the sections that you and I discussed.
We're going to,
So,
part
but
of that.
But that hasn't come up.
It's in this package.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah.
It's not in that packet, Councilman. Would you like to add it? Go ahead.
The 12 that I told you about?
Yes, we'll add it now.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Tommy, by my calculations, this all adds up to 400,000 and $500.
Okay, let me put them in here real fast, okay?
Are you clear on the line on this? Okay. Just give me 1 second, because
Do we want to go double to the hearing?
hold on.
I would do it. I'm gonna give you
Okay, so we
Pay for our travel time and have it.
Give me a copy of my tractor notes. Give me $5,000 back from President. We'll just give it and do another $5,000. Just get it out. Add $5,000. I'm gonna pay for it. So you give some back as well. All right, we're giving them back 5,000. We may think of one more change to add, and then it's to be even 400. So we had 400,000 on the unreserved and designated. 8.7 on the bottom indebtedness, and 3.5 on the emergency. You have to read that or can I offer?
Okay, we can go before we close.
I'll offer.
Let them get the change.
Okay.
Boys, roll, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, what's your starting number?
65.
Taking out the legal 5 for the president here.
Which one is the first one?
I'll tell
No,
you. He has to.
you call them out?
Okay, I'll tell him.
Telekai? All right, let's do the second hearing.
And then I think, no, legal or president? I think president. So now can we do everything in global?
Yes.
Okay, so it should be 65 through 74, right?
Counting it.
All right. What's the next one?
Yes, 65 through 74. The next one, number 66 is the judges.
On the ferry, put brackets, not 65.
You ready? Ready for our
Okay.
67 is the ferries.
That's when you would change, right?
Yeah, change 65 to 70.
I just write in and change it to 70,000.
The next one, 68 is human resources.
What's the next one?
Human resources. $69 is District 2. $70 is maintenance. 71 is coroner. 72 is civil service. 73 is coastal zone management. And 74 legal.
Read those in global, please.
Amendment number 65, the general fund telecommunications department, decrease of $76,660. Amendment 66, the judges department, 25th JDC Division B and Juvenile Division, decrease $26,730. Amendment number 67, the ferries department, decrease of $70,000. Amendment number 68, human resources, a decrease of $12,000. Amendment number 69, parish council district 2, a decrease of $4,000. Amendment number 70, maintenance, a decrease of $30,000. Amendment number 71, the coroner's office, a decrease of $17,619. Amendment number 72, civil service, an amendment, decrease of $5,000. Amendment number 73, coastal zone management, a decrease of $7,500. And number 74, legal services, a decrease of $5,000.
Offered by Councilman Black. A second. Ms. Williams, second. Any question from the table?
Yes, sir, I just want to thank all my colleagues up here for sticking around for an extra hour, getting this all hard work done. I know Tom appreciates it too. Thanks.
Administration, the sheet is open. Passes 9-0. Like to close the budget hearing that's been completed at.
I'll offer.
I'm sorry?
A motion to adjourn.
Offered by Councilman Byrd, clerk, second by Ms. Sullivan. Sheet is open.
I gotta get the,
Sorry?
2 votes pending.
Passes 9-0. It's 6:09, the budget hearing is adjourned.
Now we have to convene our regular.
Now we're going to regular council meeting.